Who is a superior man? The answer to that question can be traced to ancient Japan, where Miyamoto Musashi was born around 1584. As a result of his lifestyle and beliefs, Musashi became one of history's proofs that any man can become superior in his field through unwavering discipline. Throughout his life, Musashi spent a great deal of time in voluntary self-isolation, both physically and mentally. Away from the noise, he was able to distill the essence of his existence, which allowed him to master his crafts as a swordsman, a strategist, a writer, an artist, and a philosopher. But before anything else, Musashi first mastered himself. So in this video, we will explore Musashi's core ideas that helped him build the confidence and resoluteness to overcome his inhibitions and achieve greatness. Number 1. Do not hold on to possessions you no longer need. Musashi was a ronin. He was a masterless samurai with no lord, and this made him a roaming freelancer with no fixed job. So, he traveled all over Japan, teaching his knowledge of swordsmanship while learning about other art forms. However, as a solitary traveler, Musashi always traveled light. He made most of his journeys on foot, and he knew he could not travel fast with a burden on his back. So he only took his most important possessions with him on his trips. These were usually his robe, his swords, and his writing materials. In this early example of modern minimalism, Musashi hunted his food and depended on payments for his services to sustain himself. Conversely, in modern times, the concept of decluttering our lives seems like a lost art. We now hold on to old cars and clothes and other items we might never use till we die because of the sentimental values we give them. However, the danger of overvaluing material things is that we can easily forget their real worth, which is, in most cases, nothing. The truth is, if you can live without it, you should let go of it. The moment you tell yourself that your clutter is not as important as you think it is, you will enjoy the freedom that comes with the space its disappearance creates. Remember, if you want to travel faster, you must travel lighter. Number 2, never let yourself be saddened by a separation. Musashi could always leave things behind because he never attached emotions to them. This way, he never allowed himself to own anything, and consequently, he could walk away from everything. This was not the vice of a cold-hearted man, but the virtue of a man who lived in constant awareness of life's immortal volatility. So, if you are ever suffering from a separation, be it from your job, your house, or your loved ones, take a leaf from Musashi's book. Own nothing. Create an emotional buffer between you and the things you are connected to. And when you live with the constant reminder that, like life, your friendship, your home, or even your physical health could be gone in the blink of an eye, you will learn to cherish them while you have them. And when they go, or when you go away from them, the blow of losing them will be softened by the fact that you have always known they were not yours to keep or hold on to. Number 3, think of yourself lightly and deeply of the world. During Musashi's extensive meditations, he never set out to simply understand himself. Rather, he searched his soul to understand the world he lived in, which, in turn, helped him to see his true self. In those quiet hours of introspection, Musashi dived into the universe within him, feeling for the answers he knew were there. Although he was ferocious in his pursuit of knowledge and mastery, Musashi remained humble. He never even thought of himself as a master because he had to remain teachable to be a lifelong learner. So, he lived like a sponge, taking in everything he found and keeping the parts of his findings that enriched him. Making yourself more important than you truly are will only lead you to disaster. For example, we have all seen how the arrogance of dictators leads to their downfalls. So, instead of posturing ourselves as kings on earth, Musashi encourages us to be servants of our higher purpose in life. If we all spend more time within ourselves as he did, we will also see how a tiny being cannot rule this infinite universe. And the enlightenment we receive from our observations will pull us out of the rat race and steer us toward our purpose. Number 4, do not fear death. Musashi knew everything that had a beginning had to end. So, to him, life was like the over 60 duels he fought, of which he never lost one. or his paintings and poems, which are still relevant today. What life had in common with these things was that they all began and ended, and death was just the end of life. So, it was pointless to fear the inevitable. Just as the days turn into nights, or how one season ends just for a new season to begin anew, the idea of dying should not daunt you. Instead, you should welcome it with two hands, and let your awareness of death free you to live your best life. Every Stoic has ruminated on the subject of death, and Marcus Aurelius explained the right attitude to it when he said, "It is not death that a man should fear, but rather he should fear never beginning to live." All the fear of death does is steal your chance to live up to your potential. So, your consciousness of your imminent end should not cause anxiety in you. Rather, it should give you cause to live a more profound life while you await death's arrival. Number 5, do not seek pleasure for its own sake. Most people picture ancient Stoics like Musashi as grumpy, melancholic men who were no fun. But that image could not be farther from the truth. These men were, in fact, happier and more contented than most people because they fixed their gazes on their purpose. All around them, they saw men who sought pleasure in wine and women to drown their worries, but they avoided indulging in such frivolities. Pleasure for Musashi was a byproduct of doing the right thing. Think of the ecstasy musicians feel when they create new music, or the joy engineers know when they see their ideas come alive. What happens to most men who never find their purpose is that they travel through life without ever experiencing genuine pleasure. There is a type of inexplicable joy that comes from doing what you love, and once you find it, it will never fail to give you joy. So instead of chasing pleasure in temporary sources, you will be better off finding your purpose and enjoying the infinite supply of pleasure it holds for you. Number 6, accept everything just the way it is. If there was one thing Musashi never doubted, it was his mortal limitations. Early in his life, Musashi learned to control what he could and leave the things beyond his powers to the devices of the universe. For instance, as a former soldier and a ronin, he was often involved in life or death battles with other sword fighters. So, if, for example, he dropped his sword during a melee, rather than focus on the fact that he had dropped his sword, he would concentrate on finding the right maneuver to either reclaim his sword or disarm his opponent. And it was this solution-oriented mindset that ensured his victories. Accepting everything the way it is will either help you see the solution to a problem or help you accept that there is no solution, which in itself is a solution. There are times when we should give up on fixing irreparable things and just move on. So the best way sometimes is to get out of the way and let things be as they are, especially when there is nothing we can do to change them. Becoming a superior man is not about being better than anyone else. It is about learning from the lives of men like Miyamoto Musashi to teach yourself the discipline you need to overcome your inhibitions. Remember, if you want to learn more about how to succeed with philosophy and stoicism, don't forget to like this video to spread the word, and subscribe to the channel for more life-changing content. Until next time.